Hi everyone. I am doing my Reading Theorist presentation. My name is Bailey Schaefer. I chose to dive a little bit deeper into learning about John Dewey. John Dewey was born on October 20th, 1859, and he passed away at the age of 92 on June 1st, 1952. So he went to school at the University of Vermont where he earned his bachelor's degree, and he went to Johns Hopkins to continue his education where he earned his PhD. He was a philosopher, a psychologist, and an educational reformer, and he was best known for being one of the most influential thinkers in modern history. And as we dive a little bit deeper into that in the next or the coming slides, um, Dewey's work and ideas played a significant role in shaping educational practices, and these practices that we actually, most of us, probably still use today. So, as we dive into his important work, he opened an experimental school based inquiry learning at the University of Chicago, and there he created an activity curriculum. And this curriculum was designed to provide students with interesting experiences that were likely to promote curiosity. So he believed that students needed to be curious to learn, and once they were curious, they needed to be able to investigate and solve problems, which is where problem-based learning comes in, and that is some of what he believed that students needed to learn through social interactions. So he created this inquiry learning at the University of Chicago and this curriculum to just make sure that students were learning the way he believed, and that this process of education would best prepare students for real life, real world activities outside of school. His philosophy was known as the inquiry learning, and it was designed to produce involved citizens capable of successfully participating in and contributing to a democratic society. So, Dewey emphasized the growth of an individual and the importance of the environment and the role of a teacher in the classroom. What students are learning, who are they around? What is the environment like? Positive, negative, and the importance of problem based and social interaction and social collaboration. He believed that education should be taught through interactive and hands on activities. And if you look at this chart towards the bottom of the page down here, it's just something that he created, but it just shows that, it's a continuous circle of things. A student experiences something, they share it, they process it, they generalize it, they apply it, and they do the same thing over and over and over again. And it's all through problem based, socialized, interactive, hands on learning, which is probably what many of us do in our classrooms today. So, his contributions to literacy is that he believed that students grow and learn through experiences and interactions in the world. He believed that students should have choice in what they do. They should have interest. They should be interested in the topic. They should want to learn the topic. We all know what it's like to teach students a topic that is boring. They don't retain it, they don't like it, so they don't learn it. He believed that students learn through discussions and collaborations. They need to be able to have discussions, collaborate with each other. It allows them to think critically. When they think critically, they learn. They learn how to socialize, they learn how to be around others. And then at the end, they learn to reflect on their learnings, right? They do all this work, but now they need to reflect. What did they learn? How did they learn it? Why is it important that they learned what they learned? And then lastly, real life experiences and examples. There's no better way to teach a student than to actually take them somewhere to see something, or take them on field trips or outside, or in kindergarten you might learn about the life cycle of a butterfly, and you might have butterflies in your classroom. This is what John Dewey believed. He believed that students learn through actually growing and experiencing these real life things. So connections that I made to the classroom, I obviously probably do way more than this, but I do a grammar notebook in my classroom, and that just allows for students to uh, actively be engaged while we're learning our grammar skill for the week. We get to cut, we get to glue, we get to paste, we get to fill out a piece of something every week. It's different, but it just allows for students to learn in a different way. Classroom discussions are huge. It's important that students can share ideas, and that not only that, but they can listen and take in other people's ideas. Dewey really believed that learning through interaction was key. Students thought critically, they were able to develop skills to socialize, and they're able to learn from others. Read alouds are something that I do in my classroom. I also do task cards. These are both just things that I do. Students love to read aloud, or they love to listen to read alouds, especially for those students who cannot read yet. It's a great way to interact them with a book other than just having somebody read it to them or them trying to read it. Task cards allow students to really get up and move around the classroom. Paragraph of the week. I love this because it gives a student a choice. While I give them a specific topic, they really get to broaden they really get to narrow in on the topic and write about whatever they want to. They get to apply those writing skills, but using their own interests, which is key to student learning. And then a text feature project that I do in my classroom, I'm going to talk about here in a second, but just it's a project that allows students to really just learn through a hands-on interactive way. But before I move on, I just wanted to note um, a quote from John Dewey: "We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience." And this is just super important that something we take with us. Students can learn from experience, but it's really important that they learn from reflecting on the experience. They reflect on their learning. Okay, some examples. Over here on the left-hand side, it's a text feature project that I do in my classroom. And this really is just an interactive way for students to physically and hands-on be completing a project on text features instead of in a book. We do this every year in my classroom, and it just allows students to be able to learn about text features through a different way. It is a very touchy, a very hard skill for third graders to learn. Um, so if you could see there, we just go through and we talk about titles, photographs, pictures, illustrations, captions, graphs. We really just narrow in on all of that. And then we also do task cards in my classroom, and that's the picture over here. I just took a picture of 4 of them so you can see the idea there is that the students read a paragraph, they answer a question, and then they fill it in on their paper, and then they move to the next one. And these are just placed all over the classroom. They can gets them up, gets them moving, gets them engaged in the material, and learns in a different way than sitting and looking at a book. And then lastly, I added a little Padlet here, and you can click on it and it should take you there. But what this Padlet is, and it's not popping up right now, and I don't know why. There we go. But it's really just about students, and it's making you think on how you teach reading through an interactive way and real life experiences in the classroom. So it's really touching on John Dewey's philosophy and what you do in the classroom that is something that he believed in, and now bringing what he believed in and taking those experiences and learning about what you did. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about Dewey. Here are my references, and thank you for listening.